Austin, extreme alert. Tampa, Florida, critical priority. This is the map that has been circulating around social media, giving us updated information as of March 2026. Sleeper cells in America, locations of concern based on 2024-2026 indictments, FBI, JTTF investigations, and DHS Homeland Threat assessments. You can see here in red the ones that are saying to be on the lookout right now. You also have on the East Coast, Miami and Tampa, Florida, Washington, D.C., North Virginia, Newark, Patterson, Boston, New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Chicago, Minneapolis, on the West Coast, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Diego. These are the ones that are of major concern right now. Threat summary for the region as of March 2026. Florida areas, Southwest, West Coast, Northeast. Note, sleeper may also include some cyber operatives as well. Criminal proxies and unregistered agents in those cities. Now, these are not all the cities. These are just the ones that are high priority at this time, as the FBI is saying to be on high alert. But I've shared with you the entire list in previous live streams, and it's pretty extensive. We're hearing that there are sleeper cells all across the United States, and they're saying right now, as of March 2nd, 2026, to be on high alert.
All right, giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and the bishops of Great Millstone that told me the truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is Kodash Paya, and you just saw a map there of one of those whistleblowers, right? Speaking about the sleeper cells that's currently residing in these states, right? Like San Jose, Los Angeles, San Diego, New York, Washington, D.C., Tampa, Jersey. And this is all occurring because of this whole Iran situation with the attacks of the U.S. and Israel that they just sent off over there, and then with Iran, their retaliation attacks. So, this is why we got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Because we're harmless. We're not protesting or rioting. But that's what they have now in these different cities. Protests and riots for the conflict that's going on. You see? And now, if somebody, commits a certain atrocity in these cities, now they can easily come in with a full-fledged lockdown. A lockdown, right? Curfew, a great reset. And that's their priority, is for a great reset. Order out of chaos. So, I'm going to bring this out real quick. The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3 says, They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So the point is that they have taken crafty counsel. They've been doing these crafty counsels with their little agendas, right? With their little test runs and all that. Which is these elites. Because they got something called, in the Hegelian dialectics, something called problem, reaction, solution. But people don't really understand the bigger picture of the conflict that's going on. Because really they're trying to destroy the society from the inside out using outside tactics. Which is prophecy anyway. So all their little crafty counsels, all their little bills, what's that called? Executive orders and flying, because it's all oil based anyway. These elites, they always been doing that. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. It says, And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, meaning Lord's gonna have it to where there's civil unrest. There's gonna be religious conflicts, right? Because that's what they're targeting now. They're sending, who was it? One of the governors or mayors was speaking about how, with the National Guards going to religious sites, areas where people worship and practice their, beliefs. So really, the bigger picture is targeting the liberty of this place, speech, where you could gather together, where what can you worship, because it's all going from state to federal. You see, so everything, all the laws is everything is becoming more federalized now, and it's not the state, the freedom of the people, freedom of choice. No, everything is becoming, you know, almost, you could basically say, like, institutionalized. Because you got some countries, they even got curfew. But it says, verse 2 again, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and that's internal conflict. That's a house being divided. That's just like 2001, when the Twin Towers went down. They had a boogeyman, which was what, over there in Afghanistan, right? Which we know it was an inside job, but that was all for a Patriot Act, and also to set up base over there, with their military. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're seeing now. Even with the wars and rumors of wars, see, be not afraid, for all these are what? The beginning of sorrows. Alright, now I'm gonna get another precept real quick. In the book of Second Ezra, because all this is doing is causing more and more divisions, internally. So this is Second Ezra chapter 13. Salakia. Verse 31, it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So that's, in cities against cities, state against states, countries against countries, right? Kingdoms against kingdoms. Even the people that reside within that city, they're gonna go against each other for what? For the lack of bread, for the lack of water, for the lack of freedom in general, which is gonna fully, accumulate to that point where you literally cannot do shit unless you have X, Y, and Z. Can't travel, you can't, and that's what it's coming down to. Full control from these events that we've been watching and hearing about. Says one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And that's why they keep talking about aliens and UFOs, because honestly, that's how Yahweh Shai is coming back, with the chariots of the Lord, which are the angels. That's a whole nother realm, And also, we know that we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. See, so this is also going to cause prices to skyrocket, people being questioned on social media. This is going to open a can of just, that reminded me of the wrestler, a can of whoop ass. But it's going to open up controversy about what you believe in now, and, things of that nature. And the scriptures speak about how Israel is going to drive these other countries to the breaking point. You know, these are all the attacks alleged, so to speak. You know, this guy goes into it with the sleeper
They don't
cells.
kick your door down. They mow lawns. They coach soccer. Maybe they even sit 3 rows behind you at church. Sleeper cells don't look like enemies. That's the point. When nations strike overseas, retaliation doesn't always launch from across the ocean. Modern asymmetric warfare has always relied on embedded networks. Iran's IRGC has used proxies for decades. Hezbollah has operated globally. That's not conspiracy, that's documented history. And over the years, we've allowed millions of people into the country, unvetted. Sleeper assets don't activate during calm. They activate during escalation. And when tensions spike, intelligence agencies don't just watch borders. They shift focus inward. Infrastructure, soft targets, crowded events, transportation hubs, power grids. Because if retaliation happens, it won't look like an invasion. It'll look like disruption, chaos, fear. Attacks designed to shake public confidence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People capable of that don't look like movie villains. They blend in. They build normal lives, and they wait. So what do? You raise your awareness levels. You watch behavior patterns, repeated surveillance of secure locations, unusual interest in security layouts, and testing access points. Could be vehicles lingering where they shouldn't be. That's what counter-terror training actually teaches. And if something crosses the line from odd to concerning, make sure to report it to law enforcement. And more importantly, stay armed, always.
So yeah, I just wanted you to hear that, to get a little picture, you know, and a little illustration in your head from the description of how he was explaining it. You know, but at the end of the day, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Watch and pray, you know. Because, yo, a great reset for society to restart itself is from it crumbling from the inside out. Just look at Rome. Just look at Greece. Just look at all these different kingdoms that ruled. You know? The Lord always had it to where it started to mold from the inside out. And then once that's done, you're going to destroy that place. You know? So, hey man, that's the time we're in. War, conflict, lamentations, mournings, and woes. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.